I've always been a fan of history, so when I got the chance to stay at the Grand Victorian Hotel, a place renowned for preserving the charm of the 19th century, I couldn't resist. Little did I know that some parts of history are better left untouched. The Grand Victorian stood tall in the heart of the city, its architecture a blend of elegance and mystery. The lobby was adorned with grand chandeliers and portraits of people from a bygone era. I was greeted by a cheerful receptionist who handed me the key to room 217. The room itself was a beautiful replica of Victorian times, complete with antique furniture and heavy drapes. Everything was perfect, except for one thing, a peculiar-looking doll sitting on the dresser. It was an old-fashioned porcelain doll, dressed in a frilly gown, its eyes eerily lifelike. I found it odd, but brushed it off as part of the hotel's theme. That night, after enjoying the hotel's amenities and a delightful dinner, I retired to my room. The doll, however, seemed to have moved slightly, its eyes now fixed on the bed. Uneasy, I turned it to face the wall and drifted into sleep. I was awakened by a soft giggle. Disoriented, I looked around and noticed the doll was now on the nightstand, facing me. Panic set in, but I tried to rationalize it, blaming my tired mind. I put the doll inside the dresser drawer and locked it, hoping to put an end to the strangeness. But the night had other plans. The giggles continued, now accompanied by soft footsteps and whispers. The temperature in the room dropped, and I felt a chill run down my spine. I turned on the lights, but nothing was amiss. That's when I saw the note. It was on the dresser, written in elegant cursive, "Play with me." Terrified, I called the reception, demanding a room change. They obliged but seemed oddly unsurprised. The rest of the night was uneventful in the new room, but I couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. The next morning, curiosity piqued, I asked the receptionist about room 217. She hesitated before telling me the tale of a little girl who once lived in the hotel, a girl who loved her dolls, especially one particular porcelain doll. The girl met a tragic end in a fire that ravaged part of the hotel, but her favorite doll survived, and so it seemed did something else. Guests in room 217 often reported strange occurrences, giggles, footsteps, and notes. The doll, they said, was looking for someone to play with, forever longing for its young owner. I left the Grand Victorian with a sense of disbelief and awe, the experience a blend of history and horror that I'll never forget. The porcelain doll of room 217 remains, waiting for its next playmate, its eyes filled with a longing that transcends time.
It was supposed to be just another business trip. A small town, a short conference, and a night's stay at the Rustic Inn. The name had an old-world charm, but as I pulled into the dimly lit parking lot, something felt off. The hotel looked more worn than rustic, with paint peeling off the walls and an eerie silence all around. I shrugged it off, blaming my tired mind, and headed to the reception. The lobby was adorned with faded wallpapers and creaky wooden floors. Behind the counter stood an old lady, her smile a bit too stretched, her eyes a tad too vacant. "Room 13, she said, handing me the key. "Top floor, end of the hall." The number sent a chill down my spine, but I laughed it off. "Unlucky 13, huh?" She didn't laugh back, just stared, her smile never reaching her eyes. The elevator was out of order, so I made my way up the creaking stairs, each step echoing through the empty hallways. Room 13 was indeed at the end of the hall, its door slightly ajar. I stepped in, and the room was as ordinary as it could be, with dated furniture and a musty smell. Tired, I unpacked and decided to take a shower. That's when I noticed the first sign, a faint red stain on the bathroom tiles, like a whisper of something forgotten. I told myself it was rust, but my heart pounded in denial. Dinner at the hotel's restaurant was uneventful, except for the strange glances from the staff and the few guests around. There was a tension in the air, a heaviness that settled over me. I returned to room 13 and settled into bed, but sleep was elusive. The silence of the night was broken by faint whispers, like distant conversations from another time. I tossed and turned, the whispers growing louder, more urgent. Finally, curiosity got the best of me. I followed the sounds, my bare feet cold against the floor. The whispers led me to the bathroom, now filled with a soft glow. In the mirror, I saw it, a face, a woman's face, pale and twisted in agony, her eyes pleading, her mouth open in a silent scream. I stumbled back, terror gripping me, and the face vanished. The room was normal again, but the whispers remained, now a mournful cry. I grabbed my things and ran, not caring about the hour or the strange looks from the receptionist. I drove away, the hotel's lights fading in the rearview mirror, but the whispers followed me, haunting my dreams for nights to come. Days later, curiosity and fear drove me to research the rustic inn. That's when I learned about the tragedy of room 13. A woman, wronged and heartbroken, had ended her life there, and her spirit was said to linger, forever trapped, forever seeking justice. The story was dismissed by many, but the memory of that face, those eyes filled with sorrow, stayed with me. The rustic inn was closed down a year later, but the whispers never left me. They say it's just a room, a number, a tale. But I know what I saw, what I felt. Room 13 is real, and so is the agony that lingers there. I only hope that the soul trapped within finds peace someday. But one thing's for sure, I'll never set foot in a hotel without checking its history ever again.
The Lighthouse Hotel was a place I'd only heard about in whispers and legends. Perched on a cliff overlooking the stormy sea, it was known for its iconic lighthouse that still functioned, casting its ghostly beam across the waters. I was drawn to it, not just for its stunning location, but the rumors that surrounded it. Guests spoke of shadows, echoes, and a melody that played at midnight. They said the lighthouse keeper still roamed the halls. I checked in with a sense of excitement and trepidation, the old building exuding an aura of mystery. The manager, a stern-looking man, gave me the key to room 303 and warned, "Stay away from the lighthouse after dark." I laughed it off as a part of the hotel's mystique and settled into my room, which offered a breathtaking view of the lighthouse. As night fell, the wind howled and the sea raged. I decided to explore the hotel, drawn inexplicably to the lighthouse. The door to the lighthouse was unlocked, creaking open to reveal a spiral staircase. I began to climb, each step echoing the beat of my heart. Halfway up I heard it, a melody, soft and haunting, like a song from another era. I followed the sound, reaching the top, where I found an old gramophone playing a record. The room was filled with maritime artifacts and a logbook, open to a page dated decades ago. The entry spoke of a shipwreck, a storm, and a lighthouse keeper who had failed to save the sinking ship. It spoke of guilt, despair, and a melody that he played every night, hoping to reach the souls he couldn't save. I stood frozen, the words etching themselves into my soul, the melody now a lament. The room grew cold, and I felt a presence, a sorrow that weighed me down. I fled, the melody following me, the lighthouse casting its beam like an accusing eye. I spent the night in terror, hearing footsteps outside my door, whispers in the wind, and always that haunting melody. Morning couldn't come soon enough, and I checked out, the manager's knowing eyes sending a chill down my spine. The Lighthouse Hotel remained a scar in my memory, a place where the past lingered, where guilt and sorrow roamed free. Years later, I came across an old newspaper article about the shipwreck, the lighthouse keeper's suicide, and the hotel's haunted reputation. But what chilled me to the bone was a photograph of the lighthouse keeper, his eyes filled with an eternal sadness, his face an exact mirror of the hotel manager who had handed me the key. The Lighthouse Hotel remains, its beam a beacon to lost souls, its melody a song of remorse. I escaped its walls, but the melody still plays in my dreams, a reminder that some places hold on to their pain and some stories never truly end.